So guys, bago natin puntahan yung next natin na ratio, pakita muna natin kung saan galing yung figures na nandito, yung $3,615. So galing yan sa chapter 3, yung allied food products na balance sheet and income statement. So yung sales amount galing yan dito sa income statement, ayun siya, 2015, 3,000. Then yung inventories galing dito sa balance sheet, ayun siya, $615. Okay, nakuha yung 4.9. So paano naman kapag ginamit yung alternative formula na average yung inventories? So ang gagawin lang natin, i-add natin yung ending inventory at 2015 na 615 and yung beginning inventory noong 2015 na ending inventory noong 2014 na 415. Then yung amount na yun, i-divide natin sa 2. So para makuha natin yung average inventory. Okay, ganun yung ginagawa ng ibang authors, no? And isa pa, pwede rin palitan instead of sales tong numerator natin. Minsan ginagawa siyang cost of goods sold. Okay, bakit daw? Kasi yung amounts sa cost of goods sold ay at cost and yung amount dito sa inventories at cost din. So, mas bagay sila. Kasi dito yung amount sa sales, di ba, with markup na to. Okay, kumbaga may tubo na. So, hindi na siya at cost. Then, kinompare dito sa inventories na at cost. Parang hindi, hindi akma. So, yung ibang authors, ang ginamit nila is cost of goods sold. So, ayun na. Again, ang focus natin dito is yung Brigham formula muna. At least, para at least tayo, consistent. Okay, pero kung magbigay man tayo ng problem na gagamit tayo ng ibang formula, sasabihin natin. Okay? And obvious yun kung minsan sa problem. Kapag hindi binigay yung sales, yan ang binigay is cost of goods sold. Hahanapin mo pa ba yung sales amount? Hindi na. Yung cost of goods sold na yung gamitin mo. And then, pag binigay yung beginning inventory at yung ending inventory, anong gusto niyang sabihin? I-average mo ako. Okay? So, mahalata natin sa problems. Okay? So, tara, move on tayo sa next natin na ratio. Ito namang days sales outstanding. So, kung kanina, inventory ang ating inanalyze, dito naman, receivable. So, basahin natin. Accounts receivable are evaluated by the days sales outstanding or DSO ratio, also called average collection period. So, basahin natin to. This ratio is calculated by dividing accounts receivable by average sales per day. It indicates the average length of time the firm must wait after making a sale before it receives cash. Okay, so kung gaano tayo katagal nag-iintay bago natin matanggap yung bayad sa ating sale. Okay, so ang formula niyan, ayan, DSO formula is ganyan, days sales outstanding or DSO or ACP is equal to receivables divided by average sales per day. So yung average sales per day, pwede nating i-present as annual sales divided by 365. So yung 365, yan yung number of days in a year. So nakuha yung average sales per day. Yan siya. Then ayun. So basahin natin yung footnote dito, no? Sana nasulat mo na. Nasulat mo na ba sa index card mo? Ayan, sulat mo. Very good. Yan, tingnan natin tong footnote. We could use the receivables turnover to evaluate receivables. So, binanggit dito, isa pang formula, no, para i-analyze o i-evaluate yung ating receivables. Ang formula na yan ay yung receivables turnover. So, paano yun computed? Di ba kanina, nung inventory turnover, may clue na binigay yung ebook natin. So, pagka turnover daw, sales divided by some amount o some asset. Okay, so kanina, ang formula ng inventory turnover is sales divided by inventory. So dito naman sa receivables turnover, ano kaya yung formula? Sales divided by what? Receivables, tama. So ayan yan. 3,000 divided by 375. Bakit ka nag-highlight, kusa? Ayan. So saan galing yung 365? Pakita natin yung balance sheet. Nasaan ka balance sheet? Ayun. 365 accounts receivable. Ayan siya. Ayun. So, ito pala. 375. Ayan. However, the DSO ratio is easier to interpret and judge. Okay, so choice niya yan, na yan yung i-present. Pero, lagay mo na rin to sa index card mo in case na may magtanong ng ganyan. Ano yung receivable turnover? Masasagot natin. Okay, so same din sa inventory, no? Pwede nating i-present as average yung ating receivables na denominator. So, beginning receivables plus ending receivables divided by 2. Okay, so dito, pinresent dyan kung saan ba yung pwedeng gamitin, saan pa pwedeng gamitin yung ating DSO. So DSO can be compared with the industry average. So dito nga, yun yung ginawa niya. Kinompare niya yung DSO ng company which is 46 days dun sa industry average na 36 days. So napansin natin, mas matagal tayo mag-collect kaysa dun sa average sa industry natin. Okay. So, bukod sa comparison na yan sa industry average, pwede rin natin i-compare yung ating DSO o ACP sa ating credit term. So, basahin natin ito. Allied's credit policy calls for payment within 30 days. So, the fact that 46 days sales are outstanding, not 30 days, indicates that Allied's customers on average are not paying their bills on time. Okay, so dapat kasi 30 days lang bayad na sila, no? Pero umaabot tayo ng 46 days dito sa day sales outstanding natin. So, may mali. Ayan. So, this deprives the company of funds that could be used to reduce bank loans or some other type of costly capital. Moreover, the high average DSO indicates that if some customers are paying on time, quite a few must be paying very late. So, pwede kasi maghilahan dyan, no? Kung may mga nagbabayad naman on time, pero kung yung ibang customers ay sobrang late magbayad, pwede siyang mahatak and makakuha tayo ng mas malaki na day sales outstanding ratio. Okay? So, kapag ganun, di ba, pag late nagbabayad ng customers, may chance na maging doubtful o hindi siya makabayad. So, ayan. Pwede natin gamitin yung DSO formula to assess that kind of problem. Okay, so let me formula ha. Move on na tayo sa ating next na ratio. Fixed assets turnover ratio. So nakita mo na naman, turnover ratio na naman siya. Again, may palatandaan ka, sales over some asset. Okay, so kung kanina, inventory turnover, sales over inventory. Then yung receivables turnover, sales over receivables. Ano naman kaya ang denominator dito sa fixed assets turnover? Tama, fixed assets. So, sales divided by net fixed assets. Sulat mo sa iyong index card. Ayan. So, yan lang ang definition ng fixed asset turnover, no? The ratio of sales to net fixed asset. So, measures how effectively the firm uses its plant and equipment. So, na-compute dyan, 3,000 divided by 1,000. Pakita ulit natin yung balance sheet. Okay, yung net sales, alam na natin na 3,000 yan. Ayun o. 3,000. Magkano naman yung ating fixed assets? Net fixed assets is, ayan, net plant and equipment, cost minus depreciation is 1,000. Ayan, so 3,000 divided by 1,000, nakuha yung 3. And then yung industry average is 2.8 daw. Then kinompare ulit dyan. Allied's ratio of 3 times is slightly above the 2.8 industry average, indicating that it is using its fixed assets at least as intensively as other firms in the industry. Therefore, Allied seems to have about the right amount of fixed assets relative to its sales. Okay. So, na-compare sa industry average, no? Pero yung ratio na to mismo, pwedeng ma-interpret ng mali. Okay, so, pwede magkaroon ng problems. So, basahin natin yung next paragraph. Recall that fixed assets are shown on the balance sheet at their historical costs, less depreciation. Okay, inflation has caused the value of many assets that were purchased in the past to be seriously understated. Therefore, if we compare an old firm whose assets have been depreciated with a new company with similar operations that acquired its fixed assets only recently, the old firm will probably have the higher fixed assets turnover ratio. Bakit? Bakit magiging higher yung fixed assets turnover ratio ng old firms? Okay, kasi liliit yung kanyang denominator. Bakit? Kasi depreciated na. Okay, depreciated na yung kanyang fixed assets. So, ayun lang, magkakaroon tayo ng konting problem pagka ganun yung nangyari. So, ayan. However, this would be more reflective of the age of the assets than of inefficiency on the part of the new firm. Okay, so hanggang ngayon daw, tinatry pa i-develop yung procedures for making financial statements reflect current values rather than historical values. Ayan. Pero ngayon, the problem still exists, sabi dyan. Okay, so puntahan natin yung footnote. So, meron dyang reference doon sa FASB accounting. So, alam naman natin na hindi natin ito mabasahin. Okay. So, basta alam natin na magkakaroon ng problems kapag old firms versus new firms yung ating i-compare. Okay. So, itong footnote, pwede mo naman siyang puntahan kung gusto mo. Kung may time ka. Okay. Pero, ayan, yung ating fixed assets turnover ratio. Sulat mo sa index card mo. Di ba? Easy lang naman yung ratio analysis. Basta alam natin yung formulas. Masusurvive natin yan. So, dito, let turnover ratio ulit yung nakita mo. Total assets turnover. Hulaan natin ano ba yung denominator pagdating dito sa total assets turnover. Tama, total assets. Sales over total assets. So, di ba parang paulit-ulit na siya. Basta alam mo yung clue, medyo mag-guide ka na kung ano yung formula. Madadalian ka na para i-memorize siya. Pero again, may tool tayo para mas madali tayo mag-recall ng formulas. Yung tinatawag nating index card. Yan. So, total assets turnover ratio. This ratio is calculated by dividing sales by total assets. So, again dito, pwede nating i-express yung denominator as average total asset. Beginning plus ending divided by 2. Okay, so saan ito ginagamit? Measures the turnover of all the firm's assets and it is calculated by, yan nga, yung formula. So, saan galing itong 2,000? Yung 3,000, alam natin no? Yun yung sales. In 2,000, saan kaya galing? Ayun siya. Total assets, 2,000. Okay. So, ayan. Kinompare ulit siya sa industry average. And Allied's ratio is somewhat below the industry average, indicating that it is not generating enough sales given its total assets. So, yan. We just saw that Allied's fixed asset turnover is in line with the industry average, so the problem is with its current assets, inventories and accounts receivable, whose ratios were below the industry standards. Inventories should be reduced and receivables collected faster, which would improve operations. So, parang nagkaroon lang tayo dito ng broader understanding. Kasi kanina, inisa-isa natin yung bumubuo sa assets natin. Okay, yung inventory, and then yung receivable, then yung fixed asset. So, itong tinignan natin total asset turnover, nakita natin, below industry average tayo pagdating doon sa assets natin. So, nakita naman natin na okay tayo pagdating doon sa fixed assets. So, yung problema ay nandun sa current assets. So, ganun lang siya gamitin. Okay, so pwede natin i-try yung self-test questions, no? So, ayan. A firm has annual sales of 100 million, 20 million of inventory, and 30 million of accounts receivable. What is its inventory turnover ratio? So, gamitin natin yung ating, ano to? Nasaan yung paint ko? Paint. Ito ba yung paint? Yan, labas natin yung paint. So, ang hinahanap is yung inventory turnover. So, inventory turnover ratio. Again, ano to? Ano yung formula ni Brigham dito? Pag turnover, sinasabi sales yung numerator. Then, i-divide natin by some asset. So, yung asset na i-divide natin dito is yung inventory. Okay. So, again, pwede natin express as average yung inventory. Pero yung gagamitin nating formula is yung kay Brigham. So, inventory lang. Okay, magkano tayo annual sales natin? 100 million. Sumobra ako ng isang zero. Ayan, burahin ko na lang ng mana-mana. Parang papel lang. Ayan. And then, 20 million inventory. So, 100 divided by 20. I-calculate natin para sure, no? Divided by 20 is 5. So, ganun tayo. Kahit madali naman na i-divide, kinakalculate pa natin para sure. So, yan. Nakuha natin, inventory turnover is 5 times. Then, ang next question is, what is its daily sales outstanding? So again, so naalala pa ba yung formula ng ating daily sales outstanding? Okay. So ano yung formula nito? Dapat naalala mo yan. Okay. So sinusulat ko siya. Dapat naalala mo siya. Ano sa taas? Ano dito? Yan. Tama ba yung formula mo? Sa index card? Malalaman natin kung tama yung sagot natin dito. So magkano yung receivable natin? Given dito is 30 million of accounts receivable. 30 million. Magkano yung annual sales natin? 100 million. Divided by ilang days ba meron sa isang taon? 365. So try nga natin. 100,000 divided by 100 million pala divided by 365. Then 30. Nakuha mo ba yung 109.5? Nakuha ko siya, 109.5. Sana sumasabay ka sa pag-solve natin dito. Okay. So, yun tayo sa set management ratios. Cut muna natin for your, baka may questions kayo.